Within a little time, the band's contagious news sound spread like wildfire throughout the region. Pubs started to fill up, tours began to cover more territories, and the fan base grew at incredible rates.
The Burma Works Fund works for Charlottesville, Virginia. Established in 1999, the Burma Works Fund supports charitable work programs in Charlottesville, Virginia. Donations are being made from Burma Works Fund to Charlottesville and lots of other countries. He goes around the world playing music concerts, and the money they got from the tickets is given to charity. And he tells the people in the concert what they should do to help the world. Program interest includes, but are not limited to, disadvantaged youth, needs of the disabled, protection of the environment, and arts and humanities. The fund generally does not support endowment programs, fundraising events, annual appeals of well-established organizations, or grants to individuals.
Farm Aid. Dave Matthews liked to work for Farm Aid and said it was pretty fun. There's only one Farm Aid and it's located in the U.S. He's helping Farm Aid to get people good and healthy food. He's fighting for the small farms and their families in the USA. Dave Matthews joined the Farm Aid Board of Directors in 2001. Farm Aid has raised more than $37 million to promote a strong and resilient family farm system of agriculture. Farm Aid is a non-profit organization whose mission is to keep family farmers on their land. Farm Aid staff refers to a network of more than 500 family organizations across the country. The referrals support farmers seeking to make transitions to more sustainable and profitable farming practices, and also provide immediate and effective support services to farm families in crisis. Farm Aid makes grants to farm and rural service organizations to create this network of resources for farmers. Once he did a concert and people paid a lot of money for it, and when he was done, he told them about Farm Aid and people started to donate. Good food and quality is important for people's health. Industrial farmers cause climate to change. Our planet will not sustain us if we keep living the way we are. We need to make a change. Corporation farms produce food according to quantity and not quality, destroys the land. This movement gives farmers hope because it says that small farmers will save the planet.
Musicians are trying to save the mountains from being destroyed by coal mining. Mountains give people good, clean drinking water. People say that these mountains connect to their heart to nature. Companies are blowing the entire mountaintops to smithereens to get their thin stream of coal below. Dave Matthews plays concerts and the money that the fans pay for the tickets are given to charities.
Artists for New South Africa impacts South Africans' youth with better education, health, human rights through arts. Artists for New South Africa has partnerships with different organizations, which are world leaders in these subjects. Artists for New South Africa raises public awareness and makes a difference by proving resources and media campaigns to create strategic actions, which will change the way people think. This process will allow people to live better lives by being more healthy, educated. This organization is changing people's lives. Artists for New South Africa was founded in 1989 by Americans' entertainment community who wanted to support South Africans' needs for freedom, democracy. This organization was able to raise millions of dollars, medication, books, and most of all spread the important information all over the world about HIV/AIDS. Artists for New South Africa supports thousands of HIV/AIDS orphans and vulnerable children in South Africa. This organization's purpose is to reach all orphanage children all over South Africa and better their lives by providing good medical care and education.
Around 130 people will gather at a build site in Gauteng, South Africa, to build homes alongside low-income families. The volunteer group are made up of employees of world-top steelmakers, Ariklaw Mitchell, from South Africa, Latin America, Europe. The volunteers are working side by side with local families, community members for 1 week to help 8 families build their own safe, decent home. These organizations are holding the first housing forum in Europe and Central Asia this week in Budapest, Hungary, to explore and share solutions that address the origin and widespread problems of substandard houses. Dave Matthews works with Habitat for Humanity. High schoolers from ASB go to visit Habitat for Humanity. Every second semester, the high schoolers go to Habitat for Humanity to build houses and schools. ASB got an award because they have been working with Habitat for Humanity for 5 years. And we are one of the biggest supporting schools for this organization.
What is the Green Music Group? Well, the Green Music Group is an organization which a large-scale, high-profile environmental coalition of musicians, industrial leaders, and music fans using our collective power to bring about widespread environmental change within the music industry, and around the globe. They also built a viral community for the environmental action.
The Dave Matthews Band has been one of the most charitable musical acts out there. Their fans are not far behind. One fan in particular has taken an extra step. Kevin Bailey started his own charity, The Sky Is Not Limited, as an effort to bring clean water to Africa. The charity recently completed their goals to getting clean water system to Tanzania.
This short video clip is about Dave Matthews singing and saying that tragedies happen really often and that it's pretty sad.
Dave Matthews used his popularity to help other people. You can make a difference by donating to Farm Aid, Habitat for Humanity, Burma Works Fund, Artists for a New South Africa, also known as the ANSA, and Music Save Mountains and Green Music Group. You can make a difference.
It was excellent teamwork and it came through. So we are halfway through and I'm starting to feel a little bit sad because this is coming to an end. But we still have 2 more great presentations for you to enjoy. Our next presentation will be introducing you to Dr. Elizabeth Blackwell. We have Elisa, Aditi, Max, and Connor who worked real hard, and let's give them our attention.
How would you feel if you had a dying friend? This is what Dr. Elizabeth Blackwell experienced. An inspiration came to her when a dying friend who had cancer told her how much she really wished that there was a woman doctor. She convinced her by saying, "I don't think that I would be dying if I had a woman doctor." This gave her inspiration to become a doctor. It would give women more comfort so that they would have more privacy. It also changed her feeling about studying medicine, because before, she really hated to study medicine. During her life, she faced many problems. Her family was rich. did everything that they needed, but when she was 11 years old, her father sadly died. Consequently, she and her two older sisters decided to open a small private school to earn money for her family. As the time passed on, she grew older, and she didn't want to be a teacher anymore. So she decided to study medicine. And yes, there are problems, but anyway, she was the first woman doctor in the US to earn a medical degree. Now, let's take a brief look at when she was young. She was born on the 3rd of February in 1821 in Bristol, England. When she was small, she was very shy, and her dad used to call her Little Shy, but her nickname was Bess. She had 8 siblings, and she was the 3rd oldest. She studied 2 to 3 years privately, and when she grew even older, she opened a small room at Tompkins Square Park on the Lower East Side of Manhattan in the slums, so she didn't only help the rich. Now, let's take a deeper look into Elizabeth Blackwell. But before we start, we are researching about a long time ago, but it's still important to know what's happening nowadays. So I and my group members interviewed 2 doctors, a female and a male, to ask them questions about what's happening today in India. There are many changes, but in the rural parts of India, there are still some challenges being faced. Now Max is going to explore about the impact of Elizabeth Blackwell.
Okay, so we all know Dr. Elizabeth Blackwell was the first woman doctor in the U.S., but she also did other things, like open a boarding school with 2 of her sisters. The boarding school is located in Cincinnati in their old house, but Elizabeth worked with other people than her sisters, like Florence Nightingale. Do you know who Florence Nightingale is? She was the daughter of English Square, but she was born in Florence, Italy. Her and Elizabeth helped train other doctors during the war and trained together in college. Elizabeth also helped make women and men have equal education in medicine and helped many women's careers be successful in medicine. She wrote several books on women in medicine, and in 1853, with the help of friends, she opened her own dispensary in a single rented room, seeing patients 3 afternoons a week. The dispensary was incorporated in 1856 and moved to a small house on 15th Street. In 1852, Dr. Emily Blackwell joined her with another doctor. They opened an infirmary for women and children. And Elizabeth also opened a college for women in the poor. But as a health denier, she gave up on medicine. This is Connor with the challenges.
Did you know that Dr. Elizabeth Blackwell faced many challenges throughout her life? Yes, she did. For starters, she was a girl and she could not be educated just like other girls. Back then, only men were educated. Other than that, her young life was pretty good until her father's business and her father himself was destroyed in a fire. This made her mother so agonized that she died of a heart attack shortly after. Then, to top it off, the government shipped Elizabeth and all 8 of her other brothers and sisters to various places all around the world. After she lived in someone's attic for a few years, she was hired as a part-time nurse in a small hospital in the suburbs of New York. But when she was working with a baby who had an eye infection, she caught the same eye infection, and the men doctors couldn't cure it. She ended up becoming blind in her left eye and had to wear an eye patch. Now, if you think she had a lot of challenges when she was young, you're wrong. She had many more in her college years. She might apply to many great colleges, but all rejected her. Her applications got rejected so many times just because she's a woman. Finally, Geneva College accepted her accidentally, thinking it was a joke. When they found out it was real, they were mad. This is the Geneva College logo. On her first day, men students tried to kick her out to prevent her from getting her medical degree. When that didn't work, they complained to the teachers, and the teachers tried to give her bad grades to prevent her from getting her degree. Unfortunately for the teachers, Elizabeth was at the top of her class and got amazing grades. And she got a medical degree. But the teachers were so embarrassed about having a woman earn a medical degree, not one of their other med students, they handed it to her like this. She accepted it, but all the happiness was sucked out of her. Well, that's all her challenges, folks. Here's a DT with India today.
A blank wall of social and professional antagonism faces the woman physician that forms a situation of singular and painful loneliness, even how without support, respect, or professional counsel. This is what Dr. Elizabeth Blackwell said. Dr. Elizabeth Blackwell had inspired other women to be doctors, so life would be different for those in the future. She had shown that women could also do things that men thought they couldn't. And at that time, and even nowadays in countries such as India, women are not accepted. Many women die because they do not have access to a woman doctor. Therefore, they die. But some women would study to become a doctor just to have the chance. As you see, many women are forced to choose between a higher education or getting married and living as a housewife. Many countries believe that women should not have jobs and work in houses. So if women are not accepted now, then why did the woman, Dr. Elizabeth Blackwell, who had changed the world throughout time, even attempt to try and solve this exact problem that is still lurking in the shadows? The very person who said, if society will not admit a woman's free development, then society must be removed. So this is a woman doctor chart, and the pictures are by class.
For what is done or learned by one class of women becomes, by virtue of their common womanhood, the property of all women. Elizabeth Blackwell.
This is the graph of women doctors in the U.S. At first, in 1849, there were 3. 1945, there were 2,000. In 2000, there was 7,000. And now, 2011, there's 3 million. You may think 3 million is a big number, but actually it's not. So this is a video that shows women not being...
In India, women have historically been marginalized, cooped up in the home, stopped from going to school. Today, a reported 60% of women in India can't read or write, compared to 25% of men. Across the country, traditional gender roles persist. The woman as homemaker, the man as decision maker. In an effort to obtain more gender parity, India passed the 73rd Constitutional Amendment in 1993, which mandates that 33% of all local political seats be filled by women, and that women-only elections be held. Before this quota was law, women only filled 5% of local political seats. Today, they hold nearly 40%. The Hunger Project has trained more than 70...
So these are our resources. More resources. And more. Even more. And all the pictures are from google.com/images and creativecommons.org/Google-images.
I certainly hope you're enjoying these as much as I am. I'm swelling over with pride, and I can't even imagine what the actual moms and dads are feeling. I'm feeling it as their classroom teacher. And some of these students just are new to me. I hadn't worked with them for the preparation because we mixed up groups by their interests. So the students were actually given the opportunity to make a choice of the line of inquiry, that they were the most interested in, and then came up with topics, and then they were placed in groups in that way. So a lot of them had never worked together, and so it's a fabulous experience to watch them go from he did this to she did that to we're a team and really working together, and you're getting to see after all the process of working together and growing together that they're able to come up with this great presentation. We are now going to be learning about Bill Gates with John, Josh, and yeah, we have, you know, all these electrical cords. We want it safely. Are you good? Yeah, fine. Electrifying? No, you're.
Hello and welcome to Exhibition 2011. If you want to learn how Bill Gates has changed and impacted our world, this is definitely the place you want to be. So yes, he created Microsoft, and he's a multi-billionaire. We are going to tell you why this is so important.
Sorry to down the mood, everybody, but Bill's not coming. Go stuck in the trap. Well, anyways, at the beginning of this unit, I asked myself, why is Microsoft so important? I later discovered that because everyone uses it. And why does everyone use it? Because, unlike other companies at that time, Microsoft targeted the mass market, while other companies like the Lotus Corporation only targeted businessmen and women, while Microsoft targeted businessmen and women, stay-at-home moms and dads, and students. Bill Gates said that the other companies did not know how to bring engineering experience and business experience and put them together. That's why they couldn't get ahead. Bill Gates started all this at College Harvard with his friend when a new computer was coming out. He wanted to write the software for this new computer, so he called the company up, IBM, the computer company, and asked, could he write the software for him? They said, call back in a month. That was good for Bill and his friend because they hadn't actually written the software yet. So, Bill and his friend worked day and night to create Microsoft. And when the day came, they had created it. Bill Gates has changed the world through Microsoft, and that's why it's so important.
The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation began in 2008 when he left his full role with Microsoft and started it with his wife Melinda. These NGOs are all focusing on health and education. They don't just work in the U.S., but all around the world. They have recently focused on polio and malaria. They continue to give money to schools and countries. In total, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has given away a whopping $33.5 billion. They are partnered with Foundation for National Institutes of Health, Canadian Institutes of Health Research, Wellcome Trust, and Polio Research Committees. And I'm going to show you a clip of the third leading cause of death for children under 5.
Two weeks ago, Jaya's younger son Ayush came down with something. He kept throwing up. At first, she thought it would pass. Then, he contracted diarrhea, and that got Jaya really worried.
8 महीने का है और तब से तीसरी बार हुआ कि सीरियस केस हो गया. एक दिन में ये हुआ ऐसा जुलाब कि एक घंटे पे 10-10 बार होता था, तो फिर लेके गए थे.
There's a hospital minutes away from Jaya and Ayush's home. But many children with his condition are not that lucky. Without immediate treatment, this common and preventable disease could prove to be fatal. Around the world, nearly 1.5 million children below the age of 5 die of diarrhea each and every year.
Diarrheal diseases are the third leading cause of death in children under 5 in the world. Most of these deaths, the vast majority, occur in children in developing countries.
Ayush is lucky his mother took him to the hospital when she did. Today, she's back to meet Dr. Bonnie Jasani, the pediatrician, to check if Ayush's recovery is going well.
आयुष को क्या हुआ?
बस मेरे बोल में खेलेगा, बाकी सबके बोल में
बाकी थोड़ा चिड़चिड़ा हुआ है।
चिड़चिड़ा हो गया, सिर्फ मेरे पास चाहिए।
Prolonged diarrhea can cause malnutrition, which in turn can lead to a vicious cycle, leading to more diarrhea, and ultimately this can hamper the growth and development of the child. It can weaken the immune system, leading the child to have more susceptibility to other infections, and this again hampering the overall development of the child.
Bill Gates had a really tough decision to make. It was to either keep all of his money to himself or give most of the money to people who really need it. Because he could just have been simply a rich guy that is swimming in his pool of money, but no. He agreed with Bono that people around the world really need money and are dying because they don't get the education and they don't have money to buy medicine or anything. So you can be like Bill Gates and make an impact on the world. You people that are very successful could give a bit of money away to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So just go to www.gatesfoundation.org and look for a button that says donate and click it. Then you'll be able to donate money. Thank you for donating in that. And by the way, not finished. And by the way, we sort of know well the kind of people that say, yeah, of course I will donate, when they actually don't. So if you donate, you can feel really proud of yourself. But remember that when you buy a t-shirt for $20 and you already have a lot at home, you just have a brand new t-shirt in your closet. But for people that are very poor, $20 can literally change their life. Which means that if you have money that you don't know what to do with, and you already have lots, well, you could donate it. Thank you.